Good morning. My name is Ananya Salvi and I stand here in front of you today because 7 years ago, a little girl decided to write and perform her very own play about a caveman. That point was the starting point of my journey, and after performing in front of so many examiners, I have come to realize that public speaking is truly one of my passions alongside writing and playing the drums. So, on that note, I would like to deliver 5 oral speeches, each which differs in setting, audience, age, etc. To begin with, I will be introducing and thanking the main speaker at Camp Millionaire to 150 aspiring entrepreneurs. Who wants to be a millionaire? Well, you've come to the right place. Camp Millionaire is the biggest, the wildest, the most extreme camp that you will ever be a part of. So, fasten your seatbelts as this ride promises to be a wild one. To give this ride a boost, I, Ananya Salvi, founder at Camp Millionaire, would like to introduce the very popular entrepreneur slash millionaire slash stockbroker whose motivational speeches have helped thousands to realize their dream and make a truckload of money. Many know him for his sales mission, but not many know that it came to him at a very young age when him and his childhood best friend made $20,000 selling Italian ice creams at a local beach after high school. In fact, he wouldn't have even been here today if it wasn't for the dean of the dental school. On the very first day, she said that dentistry was not the path to financial success. So he dropped out the very next day. After a short-lived door-to-door delivery service, he decided to establish his very own financial firm, Stratton Oakmont, an over-the-counter brokerage house. His long list of antics unfortunately came to an end when he was jailed for multiple crimes, including fraud and embezzlement. Many thought that that was the end, but he reinvented himself as a motivational speaker and even started his very own online sales group. From suffering from drug abuse to completely reinventing the millionaire game, his story is one we've all heard of. And if it still doesn't ring a bell, let this be the biggest clue. So, all you aspiring millionaires, get ready to be schooled by the unapologetic, the charismatic, the undeterred Wolf of Wall Street himself, none other than Jordan Belfort. I'll give you all a minute to let that sink in. No wonder he's the Wolf of Wall Street, huh? But jokes apart, Mr. Belfort, words can't explain how inspiring and enlightening that was. But instead, I would like to thank you for sharing such a personal part of your life with us. I'm sure no one over here knew how difficult it must have been to be separated from your family and admit to your mistakes. You gave us 3 key points that we could take home. The first being to find your why, the second being to have a vision, and the third being the importance of having a high standard. I hope you all took notes, as you are never going to hear anything like that from anyone again. One thing that you said that surely stuck with me was when you said that we must not only look at the highs, but also the lows, as that's where the true story lies. We all knew that you earned $20,000 selling Italian ice creams, but no one knew how. Who knew that such a small business idea would create the mindset that would make you the toughest guy to beat on Wall Street? From giving us eye-opening revelations Camp Millionaire, I would like to thank you, Mr. Belford, for being here today. And last but not least, let's remember to find our why before we sell our what. So give it up one last time for Jordan Belford. I will now be delivering a persuasive speech to an audience of approximately 500 people on the occasion of World Right to Die Day of people aged between 24 to 65. I'd like you to imagine that you've met with a serious car accident and have been rushed to the hospital. The doctors try their best to save you, but are certain that you will never regain consciousness for the rest of your life, even though you're alive. Your family slowly begins to drown in debt trying to pay off the hospital bills. How would you feel? In fact, how would your family feel? A very good morning to everyone present here today. I am Ananya Salvi, and today I would like to talk about a topic that has been debated for quite a while now, and that is euthanasia. Death with dignity and mercy killing are both synonymous for euthanasia. The act of intentionally ending life to end pain and suffering. But today I would like to talk about passive euthanasia, the type which involves intentionally withholding artificial life support, such as a feeding tube or ventilator. But irregardless of whether it is considered illegal or not, is it still morally right? Euthanasia can be considered morally right when the life-prolonging treatments are being discontinued or when it is taken in the patient's best interests when death is certain. Euthanasia can also be considered morally right when the life-prolonging treatments are ineffective. Euthanasia is practiced keeping in mind the patient's best interests, but many religious views strongly oppose euthanasia. People believe that the right to life outweighs the right to die with dignity, and such people also believe that killing a terminally ill patient is an act of disobedience against God and religious views. But I want to ask you a question. Would you rather like to see your loved ones suffer in silence or acknowledge this fact and choose to end their suffering? Many countries such as Austria, Canada, Finland, Norway and India have made passive euthanasia legal as they have realized that not letting a terminally ill patient end their suffering is more inhumane than letting them live on. On the 27th of November, 1973, Aruna Sharma, a nurse working at the King Edward Memorial Hospital in Mumbai, was strangled with a chain and servants. The deprivation of oxygen left her body in a vegetative state, and she was kept alive with a feeding tube. In 2011, her friend even filed a petition in the Supreme Court saying that the continued existence of Aruna was in violation of her right to live with dignity. But her plea reached deaf ears. 42 years later, Aruna died of pneumonia. Unfortunately, it took 42 years for the government to finally make passive euthanasia legal in India. But now that it has, let's take advantage of that. On this occasion of World Right to Die Day, I urge each one of you present here to reconsider your views on euthanasia and help spread awareness about the fact that such an alternative exists. And finally, I would like to end by saying, sometimes death little boy decided to not listen to the villagers' advice and once again shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is raiding my sheep!" All the villagers grabbed their axes and knives and rushed to the hillside. But when they reached there, they realized that they had been fooled for the second time, and the boy had a hearty laugh. Then one fine day, as the sun was setting behind the forest and the shadows were creeping behind the pastures, a wolf really did jump out and scatter all the sheep. This time, it was the boy who went running down. And what did he shout? "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is raiding my sheep!" But this time, none of the villagers came to help him as they all thought he was playing a prank again. Sadly, the wolf killed many of the little boy's sheep. So children, what do you learn from this story? That's right, never tell lies as no one will ever believe you. Okay, come on, go on now, it's playtime. I will now be delivering a news feature told twice. Once for a serious news program, where the audience mainly consists of the working class, and once again for a popular entertainment channel, where the listeners are the viewers. Hello and welcome to the News Hour. I am Ananya Salvi and you're watching Fox News Radio. Indian families are often accused of spoiling their children. But is it true? Today's top story will make you rethink how we think of them. A couple in Uttarakhand's Haridwar moved court against on the occasion of the reunion of the batch of 2018 to a group of 50 people aged between 17 to 18. Good evening to everyone present here. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I know it was a little last moment, but here we are. Before we raise a toast to our amazing class, I would like to spare just a few moments, even though I know that many of you can't wait to raid the buffet, to thank Sarah for helping me organize this reunion. I mean, look at this place. Doesn't it just look amazing? Even though the pandemic has changed life as we know it, we surely do need to credit it for bringing us all closer together through our highly active WhatsApp group. But we have to give Dhruv like 51% of the credit though, as he surely kept us all entertained with his rib-tickling memes and videos. It gives me so much joy to see all these wonderful faces here together 2 years later. It's funny how everyone looks so different, but are still the exact same. From seeing people faint at the drop of a hat at morning assemblies, to bunking class by playing basketball, we've seen it all and done it all. And we will never forget the day when the principal barged into our classroom, demanding an explanation as to why everyone, except for Harvard, of course, had failed in math. On behalf of the entire class, I think we all owe you an apology for making you sit through all those extra classes. We will never forget that loud crash that made us all happily run out of the classroom, much to the surprise of Mrs. Ballard, only to see that the boys had successfully managed to shatter the entire trophy case while displaying their basketball skills. We all surely deserve the medal for completely destroying Mrs. Malikumar's reputation when the entire class, except for Ananya, of course, did not show up for the Founders' Day celebration, forcing ma'am to fill up those seats with the ancillary staff at the last minute. But even though it's been just 2 years, look how far we've come. Take Arman, for instance. He just received a fully funded scholarship to the University of London. We wish you a safe and adventurous journey, Arman, and hope to see you again soon, hopefully in London itself. But I think we can all agree when we say the last 2 years have been very difficult. The pandemic has taken away many of our loved ones, including our biology teacher, Mrs. Stephens, and chemistry teacher, Mrs. John. In fact, one of our very own classmates, Zara, couldn't be here today due to the passing of her father. Please send your condolences and prayers to these families. But now that we're seeing things come back to some sort of normalcy, let's look at the bright side as we sure do need to. Many of us are going to the most prestigious universities, while the others are prepping for their internships and business ventures. In fact, many of us are packing up our lives here in Pune entirely and moving to different corners of the world. So here's where we part ways. Here's to the night we will never forget